welcome back to the LOD podcast. I'm Matt, and I am with Asher and Eric. So how you guys doing?
I'll go first. So initially, my week was pretty boring, right? And now I'm so you tell me.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
Very cool.
Yeah. Outside of that, nothing's really happened. As usual, I'm getting ready for college. Not ready for that. Like
me too.
Yeah. So me and Matt go to the same college. We're not going to dox ourselves, but
yeah.
But basically, we got to do like all this like COVID-19 stuff, and I'm not excited about it. Like we got to get a test and like stick shit up our noses, and I haven't gotten my test done yet.
Oh, it fucking hurts. But now they're trying not to make it hurt, because like they stick that shit like all the way up your nose.
Really scraping part of your brain to find out how smart you are.
Well, exactly. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
If your IQ is below a certain amount. Sorry, man,
if your IQ is below a certain amount, you're good. If your IQ is above a certain amount, they have you exterminated in your sleep.
Because COVID-19 isn't a real disease, thank you.
It's a task force.
That's what they use to eradicate the people who are too smart and know that it's not real. Like those people who don't wear masks. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a guy today at work that was like, he's saying how much this mask thing is bullshit, right? And he's like complaining a shit ton, and then he's like pumping his hands like of a gallon's worth of fucking hand sanitizer, and I'm like, every bit of me just wants to be like, if it's not real, why are you pumping like a gallon's worth of fucking hand sanitizer?
Hey man, better safe than sorry, right?
like, what the fuck, dude?
Everyone's a fucking idiot.
So how about you, Eric? How's your last 2 weeks been?
Pretty good for the most part. I got a job in my field, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually
cool.
Kind of terrifying, to be honest with you, because like it feels weird that I'm adulting and that I've got a job that's gonna be a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job, and that's like what I'm gonna be doing.
What's your job?
I'm like a marketing rep for a bunch of nonprofit organizations.
Nice.
Oh.
Right?
Like PETA?
That'll be fun. No, it's the top ones would be the Humane Society and Doctors Without Borders.
Oh.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's nice, right? And so, feels weird, for sure.
I don't know why, but that reminded me, I just had like a memory of when I was little, and I walked with GameStop, like, I want to work here someday. And now I don't.
Yeah, who wants to work in a
stuck
GameStop?
there because they're evil.
I'm gonna work at GameStop. I'll be famous. So I'll play video games all day.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Overall, though, like I've been playing a fuck ton of games. It's like games I don't necessarily want to be playing, to be honest with you, but I'm like doing for the sake of the channel. So it's been very just like meh.
Yeah, I feel.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, Matt. I'm sorry you're gonna have to hear this, but I've finished like the whole third act of Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm
not gonna lie to you, dude. It
wasn't good.
I don't know. It was good. I guess the best way I can describe it is like I didn't have any drive to play it. There was nothing that really wanted me to like sit there and be like, I want to play this right now. There was none of that, I felt. And so like basically, I just didn't have any motivation to play it.
I feel like with that game, it's not really about the story. It's more like just the gameplay and the exploration.
Right,
like,
even
that's how I play.
Though. It got very repetitive very quickly. I remember early on comparing it to Arkham, right? But I realized that's not a fair assumption at all, because I never got bored with Arkham's combat, right? Every time I go in combat, I'm like, I'm about to fuck these dudes up. No, but Ghost of Tsushima, I just want to be like, I don't want to fucking deal with these people. I want to run away. Because they're just everywhere.
Interesting.
Personally, I've been pretty good. I've been playing video games. I've been
Playing video games? Nerd.
I've been
Kidding.
prepping for my YouTube debut, and I will be talking about Marvel Avengers Beta and my thoughts on it. And that's going to be one of my first videos, so that's in the works. But I'll touch upon it later for this podcast.
Does that be a topic?
Yeah, speaking of topics, Fortnite versus Apple. Ash.
Oh, guys, there's a fire
Do
truck
tell.
outside. Can you guys continue this by yourselves? I have to evacuate.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
This is staying in.
yeah, this is gonna stay in. Anyways,
This part's
I'll
funny.
be back.
It's stay in. Alright, very
you guys
cool.
continue without me. Good luck.
Alright, so Fortnite versus Apple. So basically, Fortnite's Epic wanted to do a deal with their V-Bucks currency, so they did like 30% off. And so they have the mobile version, so they did the same thing. And I think they bypassed Apple's terms of service in their contract. So Apple was basically like, hey, you can't do that. And then Epic was like, fuck you, I can do what I want. And then Apple was just like, you know what? No, you can't. And now Epic is suing them. And then Android did the same thing. So, like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I remember seeing a bunch of videos about it. Like a bunch of gaming news channels I watch. People freaking out, like not like jumping on the Fortnite bandwagon because obviously that's like Fortnite's like the never-ending stop to getting clicks.
Yeah.
On anything. But yeah, it's crazy that it honestly just sounds like two kids who are just incredibly petty.
Yeah.
Spoiled rotten.
Exactly.
Don't want to like give up. No, this is my thing. No, it's my thing. You're
Exactly.
gonna listen to what I'm saying. No, listen to me. You should listen to what I'm saying. And it's just like, oh my god, shut up, both of you.
Yeah. And then my
Okay.
thing is, who the fuck plays Fortnite mobile?
Hey, no one. I feel like nobody plays Fortnite anymore. I know a lot of people still play it in general, but like it just feels like that game just died.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who plays it. I know people who play Warzone. I feel like Warzone is... I feel like Fortnite is still very prominent because of the brand. But when it comes to like player base, I feel like Warzone is ever growing.
Yeah, I think Fortnite has definitely lost a significant amount of the market share now that there's just a wide variety of games out there that offer the same thing and have, I don't want to say done it better because obviously that's a matter of opinion, but like I still see a lot of people playing Apex. I still see a lot of people playing Warzone. It's like I feel like Fortnite just doesn't really play, at least in the older community. It could be different with the children because obviously
Yeah.
it's probably a bit more popular with kids nowadays, and I feel like more kids watch people like Ninja and Shroud than... I don't even want to say Shroud because I feel like Shroud does have quite an older
Yeah.
like streaming base, but like Ninja I feel like is predominantly like young. I feel like a lot of adults don't watch streamer watch Ninja.
Yeah. I mean, when this whole like Fortnite lawsuit thing happened, they posted this commercial that's basically their own version of 1984, which is, I believe it's a book.
Yes.
It's basically about I've never read, so I'm not really like an expert on what it's about, but I think it's just like being controlled. So like Fortnite's being controlled by Apple, and then Fortnite lady shows up and is like, fuck the corporations.
It just sounds like the whole thing. It reminds me of back when like Marvel went up to like Sony and were like, "Hey, do you know how we make like help or we receive 1% of the Spider-Man films. In return, we give you our creative insight, and we also get merchandising rights from you guys, so we can sell toys." And Sony went, "Yeah," and then they went, "How about we make 50% of the funds now too?" And then Sony went, "No," and then
let them have like, one thing.
Can't do it. Spider-Man's out of the MCU. We tried our best. We tried our hardest. # cancel Sony. Fuck Sony. And it's like, what?
Sony
you
only
still
has
want
one
them-
thing.
It's like you still want them to spend 99% of the money on making their movies, and you want 50% of the profit for creative input. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta
Yeah,
fucking
it's
love
just fucking petty shit. And honestly, the lawsuit's gonna be so dumb, it'll probably be dropped.
it. I'll probably be settled. I really don't imagine this going any further than outside of settlement.
Yeah.
No,
Speaking
fucking-
of finances, Take-Two Interactive and setting $70 price confirmation.
Yeah, I saw a thing on YouTube today. I didn't get a chance to watch it too much, but it literally was just like Take-Two Interactive confirms like $70 games, which $70 games have been a rumor coming out for a while now. And I don't have necessarily any issue with the $70 game, to be completely honest.
Honestly, I think it really depends on. I feel like if you're gonna have $70 price, I feel like it should go with only consoles, because consoles are ever growing. I feel like PC's always gonna be in like the state of you can always optimize your PC.
Obviously, like I kind of said, there is a kind of caveat to it. There should be some degree of scale back on certain things. I don't think we should get these season passes and these what are they now, like the
Battle passes.
Battle passes. I don't think we should see too much more of those. If game prices are going to go up, it should stay that battle passes, if they do come out with them, still should be relatively cheaper.
Doom Eternal had one.
Dude, every game now has a battle pass. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's really stupid, but they sell.
They do, and that's why they're there. And for everyone who hates them, they're there because people buy them.
Yeah, it was like the same. It was like when Overwatch came out and loot boxes were like the craze, and everyone's like, "Oh, they should get rid of loot boxes," and they won't because they sell.
Right, and people were okay with Overwatch too because they're just like, "Oh, well, you know what? They're only cosmetics, so they're not that bad." And it's like, all right, yeah, but still, like, it doesn't change the fact that these are incredibly lucrative. I guess aggressive.
Yeah. But I just don't personally. I don't really see the point in upping the price for games. I feel like $60 is just. Is it expensive? Yeah, kinda. But like $70 is a little too much.
You're right, especially with like jump we saw. Like games went from being $20 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, the original Xbox, and then when the Xbox 360 and PS3 came out, games jumped to $60. They tripled in price.
Yeah.
And like, are we supposed to just not bat an eye to that? And now games are going to be $70. Yeah. I understand
it's an ever-growing industry, and I think that's like their justification. Because you have movie-grade video games, like GTA 5 had the budget of a movie.
Oh yeah, far.
And you have these games that are basically movies, like God of War 2018 is basically a movie.
Yeah, that game was awesome though too.
Yeah.
So, I can't deny that. That was a amazing game. Like, you are right, games are getting this outrageous style budget now. And I think I think it came clear with EA back in 2017 with Battlefront 2 that no matter what happens, battle passes, season passes, all this shit, it does not affect their bottom dollar. They still make a ridiculous amount of money. No, at least for a AAA title, they're gonna make money. I think you need to realize is that no matter what happens, the companies that are selling these games are not losing anything. You know, they still make a fuck ton of money out of all of this.
Yeah, like their whole games. The last in-person E3 where they had the shows, I remember literally every single game that was shown. The developers they just had to say no loot boxes, no pay to win. Like, that was just, their selling point.
Yeah, and I feel like that shouldn't be a selling point. It should be something that should be just there.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's something we've been struggling with as the gaming community quite a bit, and there's some developers that will work with that and some that won't.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me the biggest one, I probably is why I have such a love for CD Projekt Red, is that they specifically stated that we're not having any, ridiculous, stupid 99-cent DLCs.
Yeah.
We're not going to be doing any loot boxes or things like that, and it's the DLC that you get with The Witcher 3 could be a game itself.
Yeah.
That's I think it's so good about it. And then even Battlefront 2, you know what? Battlefront 2, with all the criticism it's gotten, all the expansions it's gotten, all the DLC, all free, completely free. All the updates were free for it. And it's a phenomenal game. Like, I went back and I've been recording lately. Got recorded about 5 videos worth, and I uploaded 3 already. But man, I forgot how much I loved that game. I hadn't been able to play it in like 2 months because I had The Last of Us 2 walkthrough, and then I had to jump right into Ghost of Tsushima after that. And so my whole time was focused on doing walkthroughs, and it was focused on doing weekly content. So I didn't get to... And I know Battlefront 2, I do post on weekly content, but the fortunate thing is that I play so much of it, or played so much of it, that I still have a good 30 videos privatized on my channel that haven't even come out yet.
I didn't buy Battlefront 2 when it first came out. I think I bought it right when people were saying that the game is basically like a brand new title. Like, it's good. There's no bullshit about it anymore, and it's all the stuff is free. So I jumped back in. I got it on sale, and I enjoyed it a lot. I haven't gotten back into it yet, but I'm really tempted because I think some of my friends are getting it.
I mean, yeah, man. I depending on what you get, I have it on both my Xbox and PS4. I love it. I got it for free because me and my friend share accounts, and so he has it on the Xbox too. So basically, it's like I got kind of lucky with that I have it on both accounts. But I don't know, man. It's truly one of those games that can say is very fun.
Yeah. But speaking of, you mentioned Xbox. Xbox Series X is now going in. It's going on sale without Halo Infinite. It has been delayed to 2021. Yeah. And that's probably gonna affect sales for the Xbox Series X because I don't know any other title but Halo that they were going to launch with.
I actually was genuinely shocked to see that they were delaying Halo, because all things considered, Halo is the market force behind the Xbox. And I understand delaying a game completely. I will defend every company that delays a game as long as it means that they're making the game playable. It could take The Last of Us 2, for example. They delayed The Last of Us 2 a shit ton. Like the story or hate the story for what it is, mechanically, that game was amazing. Graphically, that game was amazing. You know? So whether or not people care about the story is beyond this point, but that game performed very, very well. And I think that's what delaying it probably did, is make it work so well. Same with Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think it got delayed, but Ghost of Tsushima plays phenomenally.
Yeah.
And so, as long as a game does that, I'm completely okay with it. But in terms of, I guess, deadlines, I think that was one Microsoft should have pushed to hit.
Yeah. And Cyberpunk has been delayed 3 times, I think.
Yeah, hit or miss. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's pushed back to November now, and I don't even know if the game's gonna fucking release now. I bet it will probably release hopefully this year, but I always had that feeling where it might get delayed again. Yeah. But overall, with Halo, I feel like the Xbox versus the PlayStation sales-wise, it's not looking too good, because PlayStation they're launching with Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is basically standalone game from Spider-Man PS4, which sold like crazy. And then I don't know if are they launching with the remake of Demon Souls?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if they come out and said too much about what's coming out with it. Because they also, I don't know if they announced the Ratchet and Clank, but I don't know if they're making it for a launch title or if it's specifically just going to be exclusive coming out soon for the new PS5. Regardless of which, though, I think Sony has kind of the capabilities right now where they could really push an exclusive to drive their sales force there. And I know a lot of people will sit there and say, "Oh, exclusives are bad." At the end of the day, it's really made these consoles competitive, and it keeps things interesting for sure.
Yeah, but sometimes there's really stupid exclusive things. I'm not really like, for example, I don't know if you heard, but for Marvel's Avengers, for Spider-Man, it's only going to be on PlayStation, and like the argument is, oh, well, Sony has the rights to having Spider-Man on the PlayStation, but then other people are like, no, they only have a certain amount, and I have no idea who to believe when it comes to that. But from how I look at it, Sony owns the Spider-Man property, Sony owns PlayStation, kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's how it is. I think you're right to a degree. There are some really stupid games that shouldn't be exclusives. I think it's cool when companies like Microsoft and Sony really help indie companies out and help produce really small games. But you know what? I think the biggest argument to anyone who claims that one side is bad because of exclusives over the other is that all sides are guilty of making exclusives, and at the same time, if you want a company to have more of them, like, every company has the capability of doing it. I don't know why Microsoft consistently keeps purchasing all of these gaming industries and developers and then just not using them.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
And half of their exclusive games, they wind up on PC.
Right,
a lot of them wind up on Steam.
Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing that it ends up on Steam. It'd be a console exclusive at that point, right? But I think the big issue is that we've talked about this before. By doing that, you make it so your console is irrelevant. And I know some people don't like to hear that if you're an Xbox fanboy, but why am I going to spend anywhere from $500 to $700 on an Xbox Series X when I can have the PC I have now, upgrade it for a couple $100, and then I can run all my Xbox or all the Xbox Series X games as well as have my PC games? Like, I don't understand the logic in spending more money because I need to support Xbox when they've just rendered themselves useless.
Yeah, and then you look at a game like Cuphead. Cuphead was an Xbox exclusive.
Is that coming out for the PlayStation?
Yeah, it came out for the PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember hearing something that it was supposed to be coming out, and I actually was genuinely surprised because Cuphead was one of those indie company games that was really good for the Xbox. I remember a lot of people talked about it for a very long time.
I don't see why. It's kind of a ballsy move, if you ask me, putting it on the PlayStation when you're like trying to like be one of like the standout consoles. But I'm predicting the Xbox Series X. I feel like the only people that are probably gonna buy it are Xbox like fanboys and stuff. Like, they just like always buy an Xbox. But like a person who's on the fence between the two, I don't really know, because I think they just have to really wow everybody in 2021. They gotta do something in order to boost sales.
Yeah, because at least for my big group of gaming friends, at least, it's... God, I'm trying to count how many of us there are now. There's 7 of us. I would say there's like 7 of us that play mainly together, right? And all 7 of us have kind of agreed universally that we're not going to buy another Xbox. We're just going to get PCs. Because me and 2 of us already have gaming PCs, right? So 3 out of the 7 of us already have it, and a lot of us are just kind of considering like why I would rather get a system that I can play more games on than just keep one that limits me with ones on consoles.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a PlayStation 5. Probably, I'm gonna wait, but I'm only gonna get it for exclusives because that's usually what I use my PlayStation 4 for.
Yeah, I can't lie. I really appreciated my PlayStation 4 during this generation. It was one of those things where back before I had like, I don't want to say normal opinion, but like it was when I was more biased towards consoles. I was actually I favored the Microsoft a lot because I loved my 360 of shit ton.
Yeah, me too.
Then a lot of my friends got the PS4 and were like, dude, just get it. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. And the biggest thing for me is, which one are we getting? Because I want to play games with you guys. I don't want to get a PS4 for you idiots just to go and get an Xbox One and me never to do it. And eventually I did get an Xbox One. One, because I actually wanted the Master Chief Collection. And 2, I wanted to start branching out my channel and have that capability. But like, I mean, even games that like, I know it's like older games have been kind of split. Like I know Spyro's on the Xbox now, which is very strange for me. But like games like Dead Rising used to be an Xbox exclusive, and now it's on the PS4.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. They just have to do something next year, because right now it's not looking too good for them.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
Speaking of not looking too good, do you say Ubisoft or Ubisoft? Because that's like, I say Ubisoft.
I usually say Ubisoft.
So Ubisoft and their whole sexual assault violations and the whole allegations with the creative directive around the new Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I heard none about this. So
basically, it came out that 2 head producers. Well, I think it was 2. No, it was 1. I can't even pronounce his name. But he directed a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. And a bunch of employees came out saying that he was committing sexual misconduct, and he was getting away with it. And whenever people told other executives like, "Hey, this shit's going on, what are you guys gonna do?" They're like, "Oh, don't worry, we're working on it." And then nothing really happened until now. So I don't know. Like, this shit is kind of gotta stop. But I feel like it's probably been going on for too long, and now like shit's popping up now, sadly. But like moving forward, this shit's really gotta stop, because it's just really fucked up. Like, that's just how I look at it.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. It's one of those things where it's like it feels like more and more shit is coming out in just the entertainment field in general.
Yeah.
You know, we heard a lot about obviously the whole thing with Bill Cosby years ago, and now the whole Hollywood thing where a lot of directors like Weinstein have been, caught doing this, or at least convicted of this kind of stuff. And it's crazy to see that it's even spreading to the gaming industry, because it's kind of the one industry I kind of hoped was like, please don't be awful kind of thing.
Yeah, like the pure industry where everyone's like, kind of like not a fucking scumbag, but I guess not. Well, very quick topic in the end. I hope things work out for Ubisoft in the future.
Yeah, Valhalla does look amazing to me. It would be very disappointing to see Valhalla be incredibly mediocre or get slammed because of this. Do you know if it was the publisher or the developer?
I think it was the it was a creative director behind Assassin's Creed who was outed.
So was the developers more likely.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the hardest part for me there. People who made that game put their heart and soul into that game, and I don't think they should be punished for the creative director's actions. And obviously, the creative director had some degree of a role into this game, but I think it's important to realize all the other hundreds of people that worked on this game that put their life's work into this, and I don't want their lives to be affected because of one douchebag.
Mm-hmm. Let me just see if he said... I'm pretty sure he said something about this. Yeah, so this also goes back. The guy basically said... When Assassin's Creed Valhalla... No, not Valhalla. It was... What was the last one? Odyssey?
Odyssey, correct.
So Odyssey had a female character and a male character. And it was originally supposed to be centered around a female character. And then he just said, oh, women don't sell.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna happen. So they basically last minute just kind of like threw in the male character.
You know what? It kind of feels like that. Oh, because I remember doing the walkthrough in Odyssey, and explicitly because I played through as Alexios, it felt like a lot of his voice lines weren't top notch.
Yeah, they're stiff.
It felt stiff. It felt just not rehearsed enough. It felt rushed, like they were told that like you have to get this done by a specific deadline, and that makes a lot more sense now that you mentioned that.
Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna just throw out like our personal topics. Ash is still dealing with his fire truck situation or whatever, so I guess we'll talk about Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Eric?
So the Fall Guys it's like a battle royale-esque game that came out for the PC and PS4. I believe it's on Steam on PC, not Epic Games. But it is actually a game I've been wildly just excited for because it's just so wacky and crazy. That's like, it's not ridiculous, it's not, or it is ridiculous. It's not like one of those really serious battle royale games, and it just feels like a refreshing thing. It was free on PS4. I don't know about the Steam how much it is, but right now it's free on PS4 for the month. So if you can download it with Plus, do it. But yeah, you know what? I played for a couple hours today, and holy shit, dude! It is actually like really stupid fun. It's mindless fun, and I had fun just messing around and enjoying the game for what it was. And you know what? I think it's a nice change of pace because you know what? We haven't had a game that just doesn't take itself seriously in a long time.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Gang Beasts. And I love Gang Beasts. That's like one of my favorite games to play with my friends. So I want to get. I have it on my PlayStation because it was free from PlayStation Plus. So I took advantage of that. Well, I want to get it on my PC, but then people say like, "Oh, the servers are really bad." I don't know. Did you experience like any of like the server issues that people talk about?
So I wasn't sure if it was me or not. So it's hard to say. I didn't see any degree of like, I didn't get dropped from any servers or anything like that. I did get an occasional bit of lag, right? But it was hard to tell whether or not that was from the server or if that was from my own like internet issues. And so I'm waiting to basically play with a friend just to be like, that's when you could kind of cooperate and be like, "Hey, are you lagging?" He's like, "Yeah, cool, okay, so it's not me," kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you have like that widespread lag spike for the lobby, it's like, okay, it's not just me lagging; it's not my internet being shit. That I'm waiting to get that little confirmation there.
Yeah, I hope the servers get fixed because eventually I'll get it on PC. But for now, I'll probably just stick with PlayStation.
Right.
I don't really mind.
Yeah, man. No, it's definitely a lot of fun if you have a chance. I know you said you didn't have a chance to play it, but it's one of those games where, like, hell, it was the final round, right? and there's like 10 layers of this hexagon, right, that you have to run on, and every time you run on a space, it falls. It's like what is it, like Spleef or whatever on Minecraft?
Yeah.
It's like that basically, and the goal is to not fall off. You have to stay on the top levels as long as you can until everyone dies, and like that was the final game of like the final round of this game, and so it's like, oh shit, anyone could really win, and there's like 4 qualifying rounds that you have to get through, and once you get through that, it's like 13 or something people left, and you have to survive some sort of stunt or get to a certain spot first. And it's definitely doable. You know, it isn't like I came very close to winning both times I was doing this. I came in 4th the first game I got to the final round, and then I came in actually I was 2nd in the last game I played. I was so close. I had to jump for the crown, and it was me and some other guy, and he was just a sliver ahead of me, man. It had to be like pixels ahead of me. It came so close.
Yeah, it looks like a battle royale that I remember Ash said it earlier. It doesn't punish you for losing, and it's just like, oh well, I lost. Well, time to play again. It's not like a battle royale where you're like, fuck, I died. This bullshit. That's what like it looks like to me. So I might try it out.
I mentioned it in like before we recorded. Like I played Warzone, and I ended up going on a 17. Like I got 17 kills, and I was like, that's it. This is my game. I'm fucking winning this game. No way in hell am I losing. Running to the final circle, dude. I'm getting there, and some dude camping in Storage Town with a Bruin. And like the circle was closing. Like I was probably like, circle could be like licking my butthole close, right? That's how close it was. And this douchebag sitting in Storage Town with the Bruin just fucking melted me, and I'm just like, why? He ended up dying of the storm anyway, so every bit of me was just like, what was the point of that?
Yeah,
like,
wasn't even worth it.
Every bit of me just wanted to leave. Like I didn't want to play Warzone the rest of the night. I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. That was just demoralizing. Whereas, like, I'd finish a game of this, and I'd be like, I want to play again, because the rounds are just so goofy. Like, it's just mindless fun.
And speaking of goofy, guys, I'm back.
Oh my god, you're alive.
We've done
what
the whole
happened?
podcast without...
Yeah, please explain.
So, basically, this will be great. We can name the podcast Fire. Alright, so it ended up...
Fuck you.
So, my comes into the room, right? And I'm recording. And it's like, mute your mic. And I'm like, what? And that's the part where I said, I'm going to need you to repeat all of that. And, like, I heard fire trucks earlier. But, like, apparently some fucking idiot was like, I'm gonna boil or like do something with some fucking peanuts with the shells on, and he ended up like burning the pot, and we had to evacuate because it like triggered all the smoke alarms.
Wee woo, wee.
Oh my god, so unfortunate.
That kind of summed up my freshman year of dorming.
Yeah, dude, I can't tell you how many times the fire alarm went off because someone fucking left a bag of fucking popcorn in the goddamn microwave too long and it caught on fire.
It was usually someone with a hair strainer leaving it on.
Of course.
That was the classic. And then it was like it was always at like the most inconvenient time. I don't miss that shit at all.
It said, this is my section. I heard you guys talking about Modern Warfare.
Yeah, now that Ash is back, we can talk about this section.
So, like
speaking of Modern Warfare.
Speaking of Modern Warfare.
There it is.
Yeah, so they had that recent update. I think it was like, 66 gigs or something? It was pretty big. Yeah, and like, you guys probably heard what these people were saying. I don't know what Eric or Matt said, but I want to talk about the fact that game like download sizes are so fucking bloated now. Like, why the hell is Modern Warfare like 200 gigs for the entire game? Like, I understand like 100 gigs for the entire game, but like 200? I remember like a while back, there's like a proof of concept, like game made where it was all 4K assets, and like the game could run like 100 and something FPS, and it was like compressed in like 8 megabytes of data. I forget the name of the game. Yeah, I forget what it was, but like it was a proof of concept, and then like fucking modern day devs just decide, hey, I'm gonna shit out a 3 million fucking gigabyte game and just refuse to optimize.
Yeah. You know what's weird? Doom 2016 was a bigger game than Doom Eternal.
Yeah, and it's like smaller in file size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I think it really just comes down to the fact that like some devs don't. Well, I think in the case of Doom Eternal versus Doom 2016, it was like the tech that they had just wasn't able to like compress shit as well, because like they're known for their tech, so like they were working with mega textures, which are fucking huge if you know anything about mega textures, which was something that, what's his name, the guy who runs Oculus now, anyways, that was like his invention.
I don't know, I don't have money for that thing.
that was like his big thing, and he was like, yeah, this is gonna make it so much easier for artists to create what they want without the limitations of normal textures and normal maps and shit, because like you can just like write everything into the same texture. And then everyone in the Bethesda chain ended up adopting it. Like, they used it in Fallout 4, 76, Prey, Dishonored 2, and it just ended up taking up so much space.
Yeah, I kind of going along. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how big these hard drives are going to be for the next consoles, because I remember buying my PS4, and 500 gigabytes is not enough. After a year of getting my PS4, I had to get a 2 terabyte hard drive. And I am just now filling it up, but keep in mind that's also because I've deleted games that I don't need anymore. Like I deleted Red Dead 2 because it's 116 gigs, and I don't play it anymore. I already beat it. And I deleted The Last of Us 2 because that's 75 gigabytes that I don't need. And I can't even fathom what these next gen games are going to be like, because we went from seeing an average of 5 to 7 gigabyte games to being on average 20 to 50 gigabytes. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, no, like how much, like how big was the SSD for the PlayStation 4? I think they said it was like 800 gigs, right?
That's not a lot. If that's what it is, that's not a lot at all. It's like 3 games.
Yeah, and like Xbox One, Xbox Series 1. Don't want to get the name wrong.
Series X, come on. Already got it wrong twice.
Yeah, Series X, exactly. Further proof that it's a terrible name.
God.
Yeah, no, like, I think that was only like a terabyte. So, I don't know. They're gonna have to do a lot of optimization. That, or this is my theory. Modern Warfare is just a really shit optimized game.
It's all skins. That's all it is. It's all those skins and fucking operators. And it's all the small fucking customizable shit. It's just ridiculous. Because with every battle pass, how many fucking skins are they adding? Because not only are they now adding weapon skins, but they're adding like skins to operators and stuff. So it's like each operator has like 4 skins now, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, freaking nuts. Speaking of nuts, does anyone else have anything to say about this topic?
Nah.
Alright. Matt, take it away.
There's no segue. Speaking of redacted, here is my opinions of Marvel's Avengers beta. It was fine. Some of the controls were really clunky, especially with Iron Man. I think my overall problem was with certain characters that should have impact on hit, like Thor's hammer. You should feel like when someone gets like fucking hit in the fucking face with the hammer.
I saw that. Like Thor's hammer feels like it's like literally like taking a piece of metal and banging it with your fist.
Yeah,
the sound effects are just so bad in that game.
It just sounds like it's hitting like a piece of cardboard.
No. Like
That's my problem.
I
That's an overall problem.
I understand what you mean about the game. Like when we were talking about this earlier in DMs, like it just doesn't. It doesn't feel like it's polished. Okay, so this is kind of.
It's just not ready.
This is kind of an issue that I've had with like all of like Crystal Dynamics' games and before them like the Tomb Raider games, the newer ones. Like I played through the first Tomb Raider. I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider?
I think it was just called Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, so the first reboot game, and to be honest with you, at some point it just got really repetitive. Like I don't know what it is about the games that they make, but like they just get too repetitive for me. Like at some point, and then seeing like how they translated their engine and all the stuff, the engine which is clearly not built for a massive multiplayer online game or a game kind of like Destiny. I'm just kind of like throwing shit at it.
This game is again another kind of game that wants to have the Destiny type of loot system. What other game had that? What other game strive to do that?
Oh, I know.
Anthem. And this might be the Anthem of 2020. I hope it's not. I told you this in DMs. The voice acting and all the single player stuff is great. This game should not be an online service game. This game should be like Marvel Spider-Man with just the story. Because literally everything else is just a loop. Like, here's every mission in the beta. There's only 2 variations. So you have the story missions, which are great. I like the story missions. And then you have these things that are called strikes. And so, you just pick your character and you go in, and then you can either play with your friends or you can play with the AI. And the AI are fine. There's no problem with that, in my opinion. But it's the same shit. It's like, go in, hack the computers, make sure they don't hack it before you. Or kill these enemies, and then hack the computer. Those are like the 2 variations. If that's going to be the main game... You're killing me, man.
Doesn't sound too good.
The real question is, do you guys think that like the whole like Destiny's like whole loot system, can that be replicated into another game? I don't think so at this point.
I think it's a lot of it hinges on like customizability and then quests that are good. Like how much can you customize the Hulk?
It's honestly, I didn't really. You kind of start to notice, like, oh, I should change these things, like very later on.
Yeah, exactly. There's like no incentive to like change them, right?
Hey, don't you dare insult Hulk. He could have the Professor Hulk skin, and he could definitely be a really good person there.
He wears glasses. He's smart now.
I do like this version of Hulk, though.
Oh, what'd they do in this one?
He's all right. I don't know if MCU stans watch your channel, but they made the Hulk a little bitch.
Oh,
they did.
How'd they make him a little bitch?
I don't know. He's just like a joke. Like
the Hulk, the MCU Hulk, or the
no, the MCU, the Mark Ruffalo one. Like in the first Avengers, like he was like pretty cool. And, like, they showed, like, oh, Bruce Banner doesn't want to be the Hulk, but sometimes he has to be the Hulk. But now it's just, like, a joke.
Truth is, Cap, I'm always angry.
Yeah,
that was cool, and then they just threw that away for some stupid shit.
Right, because, like, and then Thor Ragnarok, Bruce Banner's, like, stuck in Hulk, because Hulk's like, no, I'm a baby throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah, they just... Okay, so this might be, like, deep Marvel lore, but, like, isn't Hulk, like, the manifestation of the avatar of, like, the one below? If anyone gets that?
I don't fucking know. I don't read comics.
Alright, so it is too deep lore. But, yeah, no, he shouldn't be a little bitch boy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But, like, Hulk seems like not a little bitch boy in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a huge issue with, like... I'm not a big Marvel fan in general. I loved Marvel movies growing up, right? I loved the Iron Man movies. I loved the Captain America movies. And then, like, when they started doing crossovers, they were really good. I thought all the Avengers movies were good, with the exception of Endgame. I thought Endgame was the worst Marvel movie they've made.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, why do you think that? Most people think Endgame's like the best.
Not as bad. I think I think Thor 2 was pretty rough, right? Thor 2 was really rough.
I don't like Ant-Man or Ant-Man 2.
The big issue I have with Endgame is that they break their... They have too many plot holes. They have far too many plot holes in their storyline for me to sit there and just go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like, wait a minute, hold the fuck up. What? Like, for example, I think the biggest one is what I noticed is that when Captain Marvel comes fucking shooting out of the sky at the end battle and destroys the Jatari warship, all the Jatari are still like, we're good, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? In the first movie, they all died as soon as the mothership went out. And then you get the people who are saying, well, actually, it's because the wormhole closed. And it's like, shut up, dude. Shut up. Like,
uh-oh, be careful there, Eric. You might trigger the stands.
The MCU stands.
I don't care. I like dark stories. Yeah. I like very dark, like, really nit and gritty stuff. Like, the Joker has a phenomenal storyline to it. It's a very dark story. It's a very DC story. And it really makes me wish DC would stop trying to be Marvel and just run what they have. No, shut up. I hate you.
Eric,
me picking up flashbacks.
There's a really good video that talks about Endgame. Do you know the channel High Top Films?
Oh, I've watched all of his videos.
No, I don't.
He has a really good video on Endgame, and I suggest you watch it.
And speaking of which, kind of pulling us back on track. So, have you guys seen like what the performance is like for the Avengers game?
They're not. No, they're pretty good. Like in the beginning, like the facial animations were kind of weird, but they fixed it.
Oh no, not that performance. I meant like game.
Oh, like the
FPS,
game itself.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it was so. I didn't have any problems, but the one problem I had was network error popped up every 5 seconds.
Which means it's always online. Very cool.
Yeah, that basically told me like, it's one of these.
That's gonna be a terrible thing at launch. Yeah, no, like I was watching the Digital Foundry video on it. Like they were talking about how performance it's like the game was made for the PS4 Pro. Mm. So when it comes to like really dense things on screen happening on like the base PS4, like the FPS just can't stay at 30. Like, and they said it was most likely like a problem with dynamic resolution, but they can't really pin it down. But I honestly think the game is pushing what base consoles can do. That, or like we said earlier, it's just another game that isn't ready, or just isn't optimized enough. And then,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's hard to say that the consoles can't handle it, because like we've seen far prettier games, like, you know, and they run fine. Like, I have the original PS4, I don't have the Pro, but The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn looked gorgeous, you know, and they were refined to the very detail. I don't think this game is using any newer hardware than those games did.
Yeah, no, like, honestly, you never know. With Horizon Zero Dawn, it's funny you mentioned that, because like that game was it was definitely built for PlayStation. Like,
yeah,
they went down to like certain types of shaders that they used just to like make sure that performance wouldn't shit the bed. It's pretty wild. I saw like a video about how they made it.
Well, yeah, they like
a bit on PC.
Isn't it like the rendering? They did it so like everything behind you're not looking at isn't rendered, but everything in front of you is.
Yeah, it's wild. So
it can like optimize itself at the best possible like abilities. I'm pretty sure that's why they did it.
That and like kind of hinting towards what I said earlier.
Gotcha.
Did you guys hear that they're not including Spider-Man?
Yeah, we talked about that there.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man's only going to Sony. It's going to PlayStation. But like going back to the overall game, the game isn't ready, and I feel like it doesn't know what it wants to be. When there are single player missions, I feel like the game overall, I feel like they want it to be a single player game.
Mhm.
But then there's another part where they're like, no, let's make it multiplayer.
Oh no, that's definitely a fact.
It's all over the place, and
Yeah.
it needs to be delayed. But
conflict of interest with.
I'm
what
at
they
the
want
point.
to do.
I think I'm gonna make my first YouTube video. I'm just gonna talk about this.
Very cool.
I'm just gonna describe my beta experience and like,
Are you gonna be like Angry Joe and just fucking scream
yeah,
for 40
I'm
minutes?
just gonna shit. Yeah, exactly. No,
And then talk about how you accidentally may or may not have.
no. I know where you're going.
Like, I asked a woman to come to my hotel room.
Take a shower if you want to.
No, not
Oh,
trying
no.
to be creepy or anything.
Oh no, the Angry Joe stands are gonna get us.
Uh-oh. Alright, so I think with
The
that,
Angry Army. Fuck.
we can kind of move on to the
Yeah.
lightning
So.
round.
Yep.
So, Matt, you want to take it away?
Yeah. Spell I cup.
I see
Number
you.
2. Yeah, you
I said
fuck,
the
I
funny
got you.
word. I got it.
I
Ha,
got
funny.
you. I got you, you fucker.
fucking wrecked me. You destroyed me.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all we got. We need a community. But don't worry, it will grow once we get our special guest who fucking won't email us.
Yeah, a certain special guest who's a fucking. I might cut
Hey.
this part out, but
Yeah, cut that out. Yeah, let's say we don't
a
want,
certain
we don't
special
wanna
guest
ruin it.
who's taking her time.
She's taking her time, and that's okay.
You know,
It's okay.
Everyone needs time. But yeah, with that, thanks guys for watching. Thanks for sticking through. This has been a fucking hectic day to record for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming by. It's been pretty wild. And sorry for not having too many things from the lightning round. I'm sorry, the community doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We were
Hey.
lying to you. It was
Hey,
us.
yes.
It was
I
us
had
the
a
entire
thing
time.
in there and it got deleted.
Wait, what was your thing?
Would you rather have the ability to fly, but every time you fly, you have to be naked, or would you rather be able to have the ability to read people's minds, but every time you go to read someone's mind, they know it's you reading their thoughts?
Oh, well, I think the second one, because like, say for instance you read Jeff Bezos' mind, right, and you found out like that he's not a human. Like, what is he gonna do? Scream? He's saying that man's reading my mind. He's reading my mind. You know, he's just gonna look like a fucking nutsack.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what was the first option?
You can fly, but every time you fly, your clothes disappear.
Huh.
You're naked as fuck.
I mean, if you flew that, like, if you just flew really high, no one could see you.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with
I don't know, but
you have to
maybe.
deal with the lack of oxygen there. Like, that is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe an airplane comes by and they can see your cock and balls.
It's free
I'm gonna
reign.
go. I'm gonna have to go with number 2, champ.
This is your pilot speaking.
Like, holy fuck.
We have some dick and balls on the right side of the plane.
Yeah, if you look to your right, there's a big cock and balls.
If you guys want to take a look out there,
Oh, jeez,
and take a look.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of small. Are you sure it's that big? It's like, I don't know.
Reminds me of that Austin Powers skit. Oh my god, that looks like a giant cock.
I love that.
Cock there, like,
Yeah.
it just like cuts out with like a perfectly
Yeah.
safe word for the whole
Yeah.
for the thing, but they're clearly alluding to a penis.
Yep.
Oh, alright, yeah, so with that, thanks for watching, guys. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.